If you can hear me, say hello, hello, hello. Hi, Anu. Hi, how you doing? Our mother-in-law. Tony, can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining me. Did you guys hear this song by Timi Dakolo? Uncle Timmy. Uncle Timmy is doing strong thing though.
Is your hair ready for anything? Sloth's new pink line with amino acid complex primes hair from the inside out for curlable, volumizable, smoothable, workable hair anytime you want. Sloth's new pink line.
How are you guys doing? How is everybody doing? Comment if you can hear me below. How is everyone doing? How is everybody doing? This song has been on repeat. This song has been on repeat many times. I love it. It's called Amen by Timi Dakolo, I think. Or is everything? It's beautiful. It's such a beautiful song. Like, so today, it's an amazing day. It's a good day the Lord has made. Today is an amazing day. Hi, Tony. Thank you for joining. Can you hear me? I hope it's not making noise today. So today I'm interviewing the greats of the greats. I'm interviewing Biodun Stevens. I don't know if anyone has seen Biodun Stevens movies. I mean, if you have not, I don't know which planets, which parts of the earth you have been staying or been living in. I feel I'm so in love with her mind, and that's one of the reasons why I brought her up, to talk and to provide insights and everything. Hi Jen, how are you, sister? What's going on? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, thank you for joining us. So today I am bringing Biodun Stevens up on front. But before I bring her up, she is amazing. I started watching her movie, I think in 2015, when she produced The Visit. And ever since then, I fell in love with this woman. I just go everywhere she goes. I'm just like, which movie did she make today? Which movie is she making now? So I've always wanted to watch what she's making because she's just amazing. So I'm gonna bring her up in a bit. She's going to introduce herself. I want you guys to meet her. Many people have sent me questions. So we're going to be going through those questions with her in a little bit. But she's just amazing. I just want to live in her head, in a little bit. I want to live there. I want to stay there if it's possible. But thank you so much. I'm going to bring it up right now. I don't think Instagram can let us do more than an hour. So the earlier we begin up, the better, right? So I'm going to be bringing her up now.
Auntie B, Auntie B, Auntie B, we are excited. We are excited. Baby, la la, this is my dance. This is my victory dance for you. I'm just like, ah, how are you doing? Oh my goodness.
I'm very well, thank you.
I feel like I'm hugging. I want to hug you. I know it's visual, but
Uh,
let, let's make it.
Eogin,
Let us make
Eogin,
it.
Eogin.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for joining, for answering, for just being an Auntie B. Thank you. We
Oh,
appreciate
yes,
you.
thank
We
you all
love
for
you.
supporting the work.
Oh, no, no, no. You are doing that amazing work. There's no way anybody would not support that work. It's an amazing work. From the visit to Beauty and the Beast. Me, I'm there. Me, I'm just like watching. I'm just like, let me be watching. Let me be learning some work. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for doing what you do. We love you so much. Um, so I don't know how you're doing. How is COVID in Nigeria? I don't know how restrictive you guys are right now regarding COVID and
Um,
everything.
I mean, there's no restriction apart from the 12 o'clock curfew. Um,
Okay.
but everybody's trying to keep safe because definitely the second wave is going around, and the second wave has claimed a lot of lives of people that we know. So everywhere you go, people are being very careful. For people like us who are on film sets, it's a lot more difficult because we have to be in crowded spaces. But then we're ensuring that we're sanitized hourly, we're checking temperatures, there is a space to wash your hands consistently. We're just trying as much, as possible to keep safe and, to live clean, just to avert the COVID.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's good. Because right here it's okay in Texas, I see, but it's just we have been working from home for the past
Well,
one
how is
year.
the snow? I hear you guys are seeing, it's been cold for the first time in a long time.
It's crazy. It's crazy. In my head, I came from Canada, so we moved down from Canada in 2019.
Mm.
So me moving down from Canada, I'm like, how can I come to Texas? I come and freeze. Like you
Have
would
you?
not have respect. Like how can I come here? Any respect, but it wasn't even a joke. My kids were all frozen, like there was no power,
Wow.
there was no light, there was no water. This
So
place
how
was
did you
not
guys
different from,
survive?
I mean, some areas have power, so we had to like move down. I went to one of my
Okay.
friend's house in another city, so I mean, it wasn't that bad. After
Hmm.
after the fact, but now there's power. Thank God. I'm like, I can't even imagine
Thank God.
Nigeria. I can't imagine
Ha!
Nigeria.
Come Maria is blocked lórí títì ni. Èèyàn ló wà ń bẹ̀.
I can only imagine. Oh my God. No, but thank God, thank God. So to
Well, I'm
get to know
happy
you
that
in
you
a,
guys are okay.
we are good to get to know you in a little bit. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I've been following you, and I'm like, I know you went to OAU, to
Yeah.
study the philosophy, psychology.
Yes.
So,
Philosophy.
oh my goodness! And then you went to London to study film
Yes.
production. I'm like,
Yes.
what happened there? What made you think to yourself that no, this philosophy will work? Let me go and do film.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was always theater all from the very get-go.
Okay.
But back then, theater wasn't lucrative. A lot of the actors weren't doing well. So your parents were going to be afraid of, in Kotofelo Kalele. That is, you want to just waste your life near now. So there was that argument and all of that. And so my mother actually went to Ife and did a change of course because I feel theater arts. you know. And I was like, what is philosophy? What am I good? But I'm glad I studied philosophy because that has really helped shaping my thinking.
Yeah.
You know, the way I think, I question a lot of things, and I was also really, I see it a lot happen in my writing, because when I come up with a story, I question that story and I keep questioning, and as I question, I begin to fine tune the stories. So even right after uni, I worked in radio for a couple of years,
Oh, okay.
and then went on to work as a copywriter, did a bit of project management, and then left and went back to radio because I thought maybe radio was a thing. Um, and then it was on my second time on radio. I had a show called Whispers, and it was a live sharing, experience sharing platform, you know, where we talked about everything. And I think that was where that began to shaping my desire to go back into theater. So at some point after a depressive spell, my husband decided, Kilo Fefi life, and I said I want to go to school, you know, and he encouraged me and packed up me and the children and I went to the UK.
Hmm.
And so it was in the UK that I wrote The Visit.
So why you
You know,
went?
like, yeah, it was, in fact, it was my final moments there. I was like, okay, now that I've done this course, what can I do when I come back? So I
Hmm.
imagined a small story that would not kill my husband to give me money to do, you know, and all of that. So when I came back, I then met the CEO of Koga Studios, who liked the story immediately, and then we started development. A year and a half later, we shot that film.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
So you were the writer. Yeah, I remember you were the writer and the director of it.
yeah.
And it's like four
No, no, no. I
people.
wasn't. Funke Fayonye was the director. I was a
Oh,
producer. It
okay.
was my very first film. I was the writer. It was my original story. But then we also had a story development team, and Kende Joseph headed that story development team. So we both wrote the final script eventually together, and then I produced. Funke Fayonye directed that film.
Wow. Wow. I thought it was very beautifully done. For a first
Yeah,
film, it was so
yeah.
beautifully
I mean, it was
done.
a gamble. It was a gamble. I
Yeah.
remember that my executive producer always said, "Hey, film Tonika Kowosi, Shaman Yoma like one place, 2 hours. We are watching them in just one place, one clock. You know." And I just
Yeah.
kept on. Even at some point, you know, doubt began to set in because I
Mhm.
was afraid, you know. But I'm so happy because till today, The Visit is a classic. People who have seen it countless times, you know, and I'm so happy with the choice of cast. They did so amazing. Everybody pretty much brought their A game.
That's what I was about to ask you. Like your cast, like how did you decide that these four people are the ones that I want to use? Because
Oh,
they did it so well. They did it so
mm.
well. Like so what was the casting process like? Especially for someone like me, because
No, we had quite a number of people come and read for us, but I knew I wanted Inse because I'd seen Inse in this film, one of Emmy Song's film, and she was a crazy woman. So I knew that I wanted Inse from the get-go. The rest of the cast, I was not sure who I wanted. Inse introduced me to Blossom.
oh,
I said, yeah, I just worked with a guy, he's amazing, go speak to him. So she introduced me to Blossom. Funke Fayonye introduced me to Femi Jacobs. And then when we had a general sort of table reading, Barry just walked into the audition looking exactly the way I imagined the Eugenia, the character. And so
hmm,
that's how, you know, we pieced everybody together.
oh wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure how it is in Nigeria, but I'm pretty sure it's very,
Mm-hmm.
very challenging, especially for us here trying to like do films and be in the Nollywood, not Hollywood. We don't even know where we are. We don't even know. We're just independent. We're just independent
Holly
people
Nolly.
now. Only
Holly Nolly. Yeah, somewhere in between.
we're somewhere in between. We're trying hustling. We're trying like, okay, let's start hustle.
Yeah.
So how was it? Was it in Nigeria? Especially for the visit. How challenging was it?
Mm.
What kind of challenges did you go through that
Ah,
you were like, okay,
The Visit was my first film. So first understand that I was a novice. I did not know one thing about film. I just knew what I was taught in school. So definitely, there were a lot of people who exploited. I was taken advantage of. I was taken for granted. Oh, I cried every day for those 14 days we filmed. I was crying. But I'm so grateful to my EP. And my EP, he he supported me, but he said, this is what you want to do, Abby. I've given you the money. Do it. So if I go to him and I'm crying and all of that, thinking that maybe he will console me, he will still abuse me. I say, go back and do the work. You are the producer. So it was not the easiest, particularly production. Pre-production was okay, but production, I'd never worked with that kind of crew. I didn't know them. I didn't know the agabagebe, for a lack of a good word, that existed, in the, so I was always crying. Every blessed day I cried. But at the end of the day, we did the film, and then I went into post, I went into edit. The director had to travel for school. So the edit was pretty much in my hands and the editor. And, but going forward after that, it was, getting the film out, decided to go to cinema. I think for me, the most challenging for the visit was the production. But then even after that time, I also then learned the value of planning. Even though we had about a year to plan the visit, there were still a few things, that didn't go quite right. So I knew that I couldn't just come out and say, oh, I've come back from film school, let me be producing film. I needed to go and learn how to make film in Nigeria. It's a different ballgame entirely.
Yeah.
So a different ballgame. So I started working with Rock. Then Rock was in his baby stages. Rock had not even launched into channels and all of this that we have now. It was in his baby stages. They probably they had only shot maybe 2 films. Rock project, So, and in the staff, it was just Mary, me, and 2 other people that were Rock. And so it was there that I learned so much, production. I learned about how to work in the Nollywood space. I learned how to form relationships. So by the time I was ready in 2016, because don't forget that the video was shot in 2013.
13, over.
13 years, but it didn't come out until 2015. Yes. It was almost like a 3-year project, that film.
Yeah.
So
and then they won a lot of awards. I mean, we saw all these awards.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of nominations. Well, for the visit, we had a lot of nominations, and I think that what was most encouraging was that nomination for the Best in West Africa. It was, I mean, I was then in the same category with Road to Yesterday and a couple of other films, but just being my first attempt and being nominated in that capacity was a nod to telling me, this is what you need to do. This is what you're on the right path. Because even after the visit, I was still not sure. Oh, I had a lot of moments of crying. Mama Sukungo, my husband can tell you that. But I cry a lot. Yeah. I find crying very therapeutic. I find it very therapeutic. I cry a lot. So, but that nomination was it just cemented it for me that this is what you need to be doing. It was not so much about winning. If I'd won, what if I explode? But I didn't win.
No, that's okay. So as a creative now, so which part do you think you enjoy the most? Because there's writing, there's producing for you, there's directing. I've seen more of you directing now than I've seen you the writing and producing side. So I mean, I believe that there's something that you channel from people's mind and make people be able to.
For a lot of my films, I produce everything. I produce and direct all my films. Anything I shot a film project, I produce and direct. Because I'm a producer first before a director. Because as a producer, I make my job easy as a director. Because the producer, you need to plan, you need to schedule, you need to budget, so that when it's time to produce the film, those short few days go, seamless. So I like I like all the hats. Even when many of the stories, so for a while, many of the stories I try to write myself, and even any story I don't write, it's my story. I will tell the writer the story. So even when because sometimes I'm like, I feel like I don't I don't want my writing to be I don't want my interpretation of what I've dreamt, imagined, to be the only thing that is on screen. I want to tell somebody the story and let that person retell that story to me in his own way. And then when we are directing, I can then direct it, marrying my own idea. And so many times writers will write for me. They don't usually do we don't do corrections. I said, write, vomit everything you want. Then I will then rearrange and structure together. Because of course, like that's what I did this morning. I told somebody a story and he had sent me the script, and today I sat down and pretty much spent another 6 hours trying to polish and rearrange and questioning, why is this scene here, why is this happening here. So at the end of the day, every time, but I feel like I can't keep taking credit for the writing, because how will other people grow? I mean, I've written some amazing stories by the grace of God, so what else? But I like every aspect of it, really. I like it. The only one I don't like is acting. I don't like acting.
But you act so well. I mean, I watch you in the one. Which one was the guy when the guy came from London? Sorry, I was correct that the mother was
Top love. So if you want to enjoy me as an actor, I'm not, as long as I'm not wearing makeup, as long as you're not telling me to come and sit down, let them paint my face, I'm okay. But if you're like, makeup, man, you have stressed me. I don't want that one. So which one I always end up playing somebody's mother, no makeup all the time.
Makeup, or you do picture perfect pepper soup.
Yeah, and funny enough, with Julia, it was accidental. When I did the movie, I just thought, okay, let me come and it was one scene. I didn't have any line.
Oh, I see.
In the film. Yes, I just danced and fed pepper soup. That was it. But when we started creating the series, and I knew that I wanted Julia to be so instrumental to Jobber's life, that is how the character became bigger in the series.
So how challenging was that? So did you have like an assistant director in that situation then?
In the series, yes, I had an assistant director during the series. Oh, I did. And then, again, I always say that it always boils down to being a planner. I mean, shooting in Nigeria is hectic. So you need to plan every single thing. And you need to pray, because you can plan. So, so you also need to plan. Oh, look, wow, this is my plan that I've planned. Help me to cement it. So, but for Peter Pan series, because it was a lot of work, we had a lot of cast members, and I had to put my eyes on every department, light, costume, everything. So I had an assistant director work with me on that one.
Yeah, and I see that you do your own set. Sometimes I see some of the sets, especially in last days. I remember last days. I think you did a little bit of set. Last days was beautiful, by the way. I think last days was like,
that film. We were crying as we were shooting it.
I said, I was even crying. I was even holding something. I was even crying.
Myself and the producer, we cried. So I think everybody on set cried. Because as we were filming, we were crying. I'd never seen. Oh, I was saying, God, let us take two. We cried so much.
Okay,
it wasn't an emotional film.
It was.
Yes, I do my sets. I do some of my. When it's a difficult set, I would call a set design. But many times, I think what I've come to enjoy now is the creating. So I know I can write, I know I can produce, I know I can direct, but just transforming a space just gives me joy. Like, somebody can transform your right, I can solve the and just see it come alive. That excites me. That excites me. We've just built a restaurant in my studio, and it was somebody's house. It was somebody's living room initially. And my husband said, how do you come up with? Nobody would have thought you can create a lounge, a restaurant here. I said, there is the grace of God upon my life. So that's what I'm enjoying right now. Just creating and transforming spaces. I really love it.
This is one of the things that I love most about your film, that has encouraged me so far, because I think having so many, not by having flashy things, it's not by the story itself. I feel like it's like solid. I feel like everything started from the story. Like you got the story, and then you're like, who are the best people as small as possible that I can use for the story to bring the
Yeah.
story to life. And I think that's the most beautiful thing that I love about your stories, because I'm like, I'm not going to be saying we went to London and the story doesn't have meat. The story doesn't have meat. I'm
Yeah.
like, where's the meat? The meat by your law. Where's the, like, you know, but at least it's like your storytelling is beautiful. You use as little people as you want to use, and you try to limit the locations so that it can be as smooth as possible, and it's creative. And it's creative. Can we elaborate creative? Like creative though.
Um, I think that I like intimate stories very much. I don't like crowd movies. I don't like paparazzi films. I like performance-driven films. I like a story that I will drill the actor. The actor will go back and say, I never imagined that you can take me to this place, or I can be this way. And that is why people will say, oh, some people will say, oh, Biodun is a star maker. It's not me, it's the story. And then the actor committing 100% to that character. Because at the end of the day, many people, it's people like you who wait and scream, many people think that Ninobe is picture perfect. But you know, it is because we have created this character for him to embody. And he has also willingly allowed himself to embody this character, which is, so he has not made a mess of what we've written. And then we have equipped him with the right location, the right costume, to the right everything to bring out that thing. So for me, I always like performance-driven films. I don't like too many people, flamboyance. I just like films that will grip you, will drill you. Even you will say, when you finish the film, when you say it's your laugh, you say, hallelujah, I'm done. You are spent, you know, because, and it's not I'm done in a bad, I'm done that you look at, you're proud that you
Yeah,
really
it's like
gave
you. It's like
100.
it is finished, like Jesus on the cross.
Yeah,
There's
yes.
nothing else I will
Yes.
give you people. I've given you my all. It is done.
Oh, yes, you're dropping everything. And that's why people remember the characters in these films that we've done. People remember Kunle Remi in Tiwa's Baggage. People remember Bolaji in Sobi's Mythic. People remember Joshua in Tough Love. People remember Bola in Picture Perfect. People remember Bisola in Obi's Voice. You know, I remember when I wrote Obi's Voice and I said Bisola was like, Hatibi, can I do it? In fact, even when I wrote it, I was afraid that people who have patience, that's my paper, you know. But I didn't think that Obi's Voice will become what it is, so successful and so big. And I mean, we're shooting something. Yeah, we're shooting something somewhere, and the minister of youth and sports came around, and he saw Bisola, and he said he saw Bisola, and he was like, Obi's Voice. I remember you, Obi's Voice. And Bisola was like, she wrote it. She was pointing to me, and you know, just people that you didn't think, you know. I remember that I had a conversation, and I was told that BRF had seen Picture Perfect, but he called it Jobestina. So when I was being introduced to him, I was told, he was telling them, Jobestina, oh, you wrote Jobestina? I said, yes, sir. You know, because they don't remember that picture, they remember Jobestina. That is the whole Minister of Works. You get, because we created these memorable characters for people to relate to connect to root for.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes your story stand out. When it comes to the Picture Perfect, though, I was not expecting Nino to come out the way he did, because Nino is always doing like, the Playboy roles where you hate him or like him, you want to smash his head, something like that. And then they came out with Picture Perfect, and I was like, wait. Or even Bimbo in Looking for Bambi.
Yeah.
I was like, where is that? Even
Bimbo
right now in RTL right now,
we were filming. You know the funny thing, we were filming RTL when I was writing Looking for Bambi. It was 2018. We were shooting Looking for Bambi. We were shooting RTL. We're filming it. So I was just, and I said, I'm going to the idea call. So I was filming and I was writing. Sometimes we say cut. While we are setting up, I was writing. So when I finished writing,
this is gift.
I said,
this is gift.
So I said to Bimbo, I said, I think I like the story. So Bimbo was on set, Bolaji was on set. Okay. Bolaji was this one. Okay, let's call Femi Jacobs. And so from RTL, we all went straight like that to Ibadan to go and shoot looking for Bami. None of us thought that looking for Bami is what it is now. I mean, none of us. We didn't. You just write a film and you don't think that. Shall let me just write it and let us do it well. Every time, again, I tell the producers, every time I've done the film, I always want to, with the small money, just do it well. Give it your best, because you don't know the reach of that film. You don't know what that film is going to do for you. You don't know where you're going to take it to. Because I remember Picture Perfect. We didn't plan to go to cinema. But because we had shot it well enough for cinema, when the opportunity came, we packed our loads. Yeah, let's go now. Let's go and market this in cinema. Even looking for one was meant to go to cinema after. I was like, yeah, I take it. But I'd done Jobba that year, and I was not really very happy with the turnout of Jobba in cinema. I was like, well, I don't have any money to, because every time I've gone to cinema, it's always been my money. I don't have any financier. We will bata, kajo, wala jo, pack it, and you know.
And that was another thing that I wanted to ask you. Actually, I'm like, how do you do it for funding?
So I've done a lot of. So I'm one of the Iroko producers or rock producers. So many of my films, which is why many times my films are always on Iroko, is because I'm a commissioned producer with rock, and doing that with them has really helped me to tell more stories and also grow my business and the studio, and just grown as more than a producer, but into a business enterprise, because that funding, that availability of funds make it easy to always film. So I tell them this idea and they're like, okay. And so I'm in a place with rock where once they say, oh, Biodun, you want to do a project, what do you want to do? How can we collaborate with you? And they've really helped me as well as other producers, in this regard. But of course, they always have the independent project that you have to look for money for. So from the small change we are making from rock film, we gather it together and we do our own.
That's good.
But of course, beyond rock, I've worked with so many other, I've worked with African Magic. I've done so many other productions with other people. So
Rocco, if you are watching, please, some of us need producing people like this too. We need help. Help us, help our ministry. No, it's phenomenal, honestly. So let's talk about your life as an entrepreneur. So you have a chopstick business right now.
A small chop business. Yeah.
Okay. So is that all you do right now as an entrepreneur apart from film?
Yes.
Okay.
That's on. Even that one, I didn't have time. So it again, the company name is Shorter Speed. My husband is a lawyer. He's also into advertising. I'm a filmmaker. He works with me as my business development hand, and also he's the CEO. He runs a company. So Short Speed is just part of that umbrella company that we've done. As a business. So really, he runs it more than I, because I'm never really around. So he runs it more than I do. He's always there. He's the small chops guy. My own is just to post. All I just do is post, and then I taste. I just post and taste the chicken and the small chops. Yeah, if you're learning, that's all my job.
No, but it's really good though, and I think, I mean, it's actually challenging to do film and do business and be a wife and be a mother.
Yes.
So
it is very challenging.
It's very, very challenging. So how do you mix both of them? How do you balance them out?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't even say that there is a balance, because to be honest, if this is film and this is family, to be honest, this is where film is. My family is still like this because I'm not able to balance. But I'm married to such a great guy who just believes in my dream. And he makes it easy. He makes it very easy. He supports me. He's always there for the children. He knew because before I started this career, I always had time for the kids. But the moment my career took a positive twist, he knew that, okay, somebody needed to, our lives as well needed to change. And thankfully, we're both entrepreneurs. So it's easy for him. And because he can work anywhere, once he can set up at home and work. And, he was telling me, and I'm like, I will share coming because I'm not around. You know, so he's always really there. He checks on them. He's working with their school. In fact, there was a time in my daughter's school, they said, "Where is your mommy?" Because I don't go, I don't go for any school, anything. Just their dad. Where is your mom? I said, my mommy is around, but she's a filmmaker. You know, so I've been very blessed to have him as my support system. And the children are not young. You know, my daughter is 15, the other is 10 going on 11. So they pretty much can take care of themselves, which has also made life easy as well for daddy.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. I mean, they're now teenagers. I mean, me, I have
Yes.
three under three. They call them three.
Hey! I do not envy you. I don't even know how you have managed to slay like this.
Oh, slake in it.
Yeah, I have
Remember
grown up.
when?
I don't remember to slay.
Slake in it. Oh, at the B, it's not easy. Oh, if my
Ah,
twin A is crying, twin B will be crying. The
wow.
will be saying, I'm like, okay, you people, I want to quit. So
Oh,
anytime we
it is
have
well.
time is when we do the film.
Mm.
So let's go back to film because film
Yes.
is all it is for me. I love film. I don't like writing funny enough. My husband do most of the writing and I have writers.
Okay.
But I love the directing and the producing side of it and the creative
Yes.
directing side of it. Where you
Yes.
be watching the edit come up, you be like, no, don't put the text there, put
Yes.
it there. I love it.
Yeah.
And I'm not an actor too. I'm not an actor. But if anybody wants to give me a role, just give me one role. Let me pass by. Let me just pass. Let me just
Mm.
say hi,
Yes.
hello,
Waka
bye bye.
pass. Yes.
I don't think I'm an actor. So let's go to film. So you wrote I have a list.
Okay.
You wrote Obi's voice. You wrote
Yes.
A's details. You wrote
Yes.
Toby's mistake. You wrote
Yes.
Glimpse, Last Days,
Yes.
even Beauty and the
No, I
Beast
didn't
that
write
I
Last
just
Days.
watched.
Last Days was written by Moses, the producer.
Oh, okay. But you directed
Mm-hmm.
Last Days.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Even Beauty and the Beast that I just recently watched. I can
Yes.
see a trend with those packages that I just mentioned. It's like suspense, like everybody's just crying. Tissue everywhere. We are all crying. We are all saying, you know. Tissue is coming. We're like, sure, what is she going to do to us now? We don't know where the story is unfolding. We don't know where it's going.
Yeah.
It's very intriguing. We want to see the end. We want to see what's going on. And then
Mm-hmm.
you came, you are like, no, you people, I don't write a particular style. I'm going to change it to picture perfect. Please, what happened?
Yes.
What
Ah.
happened? What was going through your mind? Like, what was the inspiration behind all of this? Like, how did
I
you?
think that for me, importantly, I'm drawn to human angle stories. And this is why I said that when I went back on the second time, I had an experience sharing platform where we talked about everything, different topics and different issues that humans go through. And that was the formation of how I took my stories. So I'm very drawn to human angle stories, very, very drawn. Even when I write fictional stories, like Obim was purely, the becoming of Obim was purely fictional. It still had an human angle touch to it. So for me, I draw from everything. From this conversation we are having, I draw. In fact, there's a script I'm writing now. My husband was just talking about insecurity. And he was just giving us gist about how we should not be talking about figures. Don't be talking about money. Don't say, around about 1 million, come on, that's how it happened in normal estate. As he said this, I said, story real. This is the story. This is the story. And by nightfall, I told my husband, I said, I've concocted that story. Let me tell you the story. Most was looking at me. But I think right now he's no longer impressed because he knows that's how I am. Ordinary from pulpits, pastor sharing a message, I would write a story. So I draw from everywhere, really. Everywhere, every conversation, anything I watch, anything I see, anything I draw from stuff. So, and I try to do that because I want there to be a relatability to every film. So, with Picture Perfect was purely fictional. It was just me. My tailor is very prim and proper. Like you can't touch her. She's very, and I'm like, and that's how I started writing Picture Perfect one night. Because she's so She's so posh, like, and she was my tailor. But she was so posh. Okay, you're just so posh. Everybody will just carry you now, just give you belly. What will you do? It's like, never. Okay, and that's how I wrote Picture Perfect, you know. So I draw from everywhere, really, everywhere. But most importantly is that the stories have to be human angle stories, and they have to be relatable. And I knew for me, film was my calling, was a purpose. I had a purpose with film, and God had told me that. So I knew that every story that I write, there must be something that you will take away. There must be something that film is not just you will be entertained. That's why we always put comedy inside. You know, you will still laugh. You will still cry. Don't. We must go through all the tears because life going don't smooth. Life have galloping. So you must go. So you must go through all of that. You know, you get what I'm saying? So which is why you will laugh, you will cry, you would have your shop, but most importantly you will leave. What that man say? Because they saw you, would they make sense? That's really what film is about me.
Yeah. I mean that's beautiful. So on set though, how do you manage? How do you manage stars? Because I can't even imagine the drama. I can't imagine the you know the good way. How do you manage? Because you have to be a good manager of people for you to be a director. So how do you manage those?
God has God has God has so blessed me that I'm yet to see a diva to work with. So many times when I went, and again, presentation, you know, there's always, everybody knows me. Oh, when I was set, I would joke, but they know that when I say, hey, yeah, shoot, my face has changed, we are filming. So I've never really, and I like to cast people who connect to my vision. So if I send you a script as an actor and you don't give me feedback, you know, your energy does not match the energy with which I gave you, then you're not the person for me. From casting, I already know. But if we are talking about this, so this character, why did it happen like this? I know that, yes. And I always use Bolaji Ogumola's, my first meeting with her as an example. I don't know Bolaji from anywhere. When I wrote Toby's Mistake, in fact, I was on Tiwa's baggage set with Bere and Kunle when I told them the story of Toby's Mistake. So I wanted to cast Bere. So when I finished writing the script, I noticed that Bere has like a small scar here. And I know that I wanted that character, for people not to know her immediately when they see her. So I knew that, how will I cover it that people will not know that it's Bere? You know, ruminate, I said, I need somebody new, a fresh face that people don't really know. It will make it easier. So I can hide her. You know, we'll do the makeup and without makeup. So Bolaji had reached out to me on DM one time. But, you know, it didn't go anywhere. So I went for a film. I went to go and speak at a film training, something. And I just saw her, you know, and she was doing her job. And I knew that she just wanted me to notice that she was such a good actor because she was part of the program. And I just got and I said, you know what? She looked like what I wanted. I said, you know, let's have a meeting, but I'll send you something. Read it and let me know. I will set up a meeting. When we set up that meeting, Bolaji came to that meeting with her own script. She had made notes. She had written, you know, notes all over the script. And I said to myself, even if you cannot act, we are gonna dig it out of you. Just because I saw she was committed. That's how we did we did Toby's Mistake.
Yeah.
But thank God, so wow, okay.
She acted well. Like to the point that I was like, this girl that is wearing glasses. Me, I'm suspicious. The only thing look suspicious. No, do me. Only look back on this guy is looking suspicious. She's the same person there. I'm like, my husband is like, no, she's not. She cannot be. This one is different. I'm like, me, I don't know this thing. Me, I know this thing. But
you
no,
see?
that was beautiful. That was
So we actors have it's a respectable relationship. They don't stress me, and if you stress me, we will not work again together. It's very easy because he said Hollywood is too stressful. I don't want any extra baggage. I cannot be running for production. Care somebody. Please, my dear, come on set. Let them do your makeup. I don't have the strength for it.
I agree with you. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's talk about Joba.
Ah,
Joba. Okay. 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 Auntie B, Kila Shell America, what have we done? Kila, what did we do wrong? What is our offense?
to be honest, Joba was scheduled to come to America, but
Okay.
it's not easy to get visa as at that time. So when Joba had gone to London in 2019, the plan was for Joba to come to America in 2019. Now America is big, so the decision was, where do I want to go in America? Which country,
Come
which
to
state do I want to go?
come to Houston.
You know,
Houston, Texas.
So honestly, and I had a contact that he really was really, but the timeline he was giving was too short because I didn't want to send my film. I wanted to be present because I feel like when I have a lot of followership, a lot of family. I always call my fans my family. I have a lot of family over there that it would be nice for me to be there, present.
Yeah.
See everybody and get to but then the time frame he was giving me to come, then for me to not go and get my visa, everything was really just like higgy haga.
And okay, Ellie, plan for
But
me.
I
You know
have
you
been working
cannot.
on Netflix for some time.
You know you can plan with me. You know you can depend on me.
Yeah, we can talk after this time out.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you were talking about Netflix. Yeah. What did you? What
Yeah,
was
so
you
we're
saying?
still we're working on Netflix, and if Netflix doesn't happen, we are hoping to surprise everybody in Easter with a release that the world can see globally.
Thank God.
We
So
are hoping by
how did
Easter.
Joba came to be? How did it come to be? Like, what was the inspiration
Ah,
behind it? Because many people have testified, many people were doing
yes.
testimony. I'm like, people are just kissing us, kissing the lady smoke. But how
And
did it
Emma
come
Emma
to
to
be?
Wojoba, Emma Emma to Wojoba. I always said, but I said it yesterday on another show that I was on YouTube. Joba is a gift. I was listening to a song by Salmos and featuring Tope Alabi. It's called Jesu Joba. And it was on replay for such a long time. And every time the song replayed, my spirit just something like opening up in my spirit. And I said, God, I'm feeling as if there's a story in this song. There's something you want me to say with this song. Jesus reigns. That's the name of the song. There's something you want me to say. How can I tell the world that Jesus reigns? You know? And I always say this thing, and I always say it because it always sounds funny. My windshield just turned to television. And I started seeing images as I was driving. And I was seeing the story play out. And I was driving so fast to get to my house so that I don't forget anything. And I got home that day. Job was written overnight. I wrote it in that 8 hours. Because when I got home at 6:30, I didn't stop writing until about 2 p.m. The end with the lost. So in the morning when I read it, I told my husband, Lord Jesus, I have written something that this is not me. It's Holy Spirit that made me call the story because I don't know Bible this much that I put inside this stuff. You know,
Oh my goodness.
it was such an humbling experience, and I'll never forget it. And I'm so grateful to God that He chose me. Every time I think back at Joba, I'm just like, God, thank you for choosing me. Use me again. Let me write another one. I'm ready to receive, oh Lord.
You've
And
written.
that's how we
I
make
mean,
Joba.
yeah. I mean, you've written so many good ones. To be like seriously, we are not surprised again. We are waiting. We are just there. We are like this. We are trying to
Yeah.
hold the hem of your garment. Hold the hem.
Hey,
Hold
my
the.
sister, but you know that, man, one of the things that I'm always afraid of is not being able to write. It's not even not being able to direct. I just think because writing is the foundation of everything that I am as a filmmaker. So every day I pray, Lord, don't let me ever run dry. I just want to be able to write, able to tell because so today when I was writing today, I was so today that I wrote was my first time this year writing. I was so happy. That I was writing and the words were flowing and I'm like, oh my God, thanks so much, God. You know,
It's beautiful. So we'll be expecting it in Easter. You say Easter.
by God's grace. I'm going to make an
Amen.
announcement in March about job. I don't worry.
Amen. Yes. Yes. Oluwajoba, oh yes. Okay.
Yes,
So
because I want everybody to watch it. At this point, I just want the message out there. It's not about making the money. I just really want people to connect to the power of that message and understand that indeed Christ reigns. Jesus reigns forever and ever. Jesus Joba.
So I guess I have to ask this because many people have sent me messages. So I said I
Okay.
will ask all my own questions first, and then I'll ask their questions after.
Yeah. Oh.
Samanic time,
Mm.
So people have said, how can they work with you? People have been, they said they want to work with you. They said they want to ask for you. Me, I'm not even in Nigeria, so I cannot say, me, I want to work with you, but I'll bring you here so that you enter palace. Do you understand? So you enjoy. I want you to come and
Yeah.
enjoy
I'm
it
looking forward to it.
more. So people
Yeah.
have been saying they want to work with you, they want to act with you. Where did they go to get all the information? Like if they want to.
To be honest, I'm not so I get a lot of requests. My DM is full of requests, messages. People get asked because I have just one number and a lot of people have shared that number and I'm not willing to change it. Um I get a lot of emails and stuff. I want to work with a lot of people and I've told God this year that just the way I want to discover one person new this year. I want, but again, for me, the story has to be right. So I'm willing to discover at least one person, and I'm willing to give 5 people an opportunity to showcase. But then I've not worked on my project this year at all. I've been working on other people's projects. So
Oh,
people think
really?
that once they see, yeah, Steven is working, you are shooting again. I say, I'm not the one shooting. I'm just directing. When it is time for my own, which doesn't look like I don't start filming my jobs until May, which is Picture Perfect season 3 and 4. That's when I start filming. And then I want to discover new because I want to use a lot of new people as well in the series. Because series allows you to, add more people. Unlike film. In your meta, film, So it's not very easy, but I'm really working on it. There's no special way. I don't do auditions. I rarely do because I don't believe doing audition and then you don't call people back. So I rarely ever do it. But I'm looking out for everybody, and I know that it's just one phone call. Once I see you, I always DM. Somebody worked with me in December. I'd never worked with her before. I saw her in one film and I said, I like this person. She fits what I want. Can I get her number? And I called her and we do film. So
Nice.
you don't add.
So
You don't add.
some people want to do internship with you, like at the
Hmm.
end, like behind the scene,
Yes.
and let me bring the spoon there, make up the hair,
Hmm.
things like that. So do you have like
That
a,
one I
a
want to. That
general?
one I also want to try and do for
Mhm.
this because the series are always longer. I feel like if you want to learn anything as an intern, you need to be on a project that is running for more than a week, a week or two, so that you can actually pick up something. So when I'm filming the series, I'm filming for about a month, and that way it's easy. That in that 1 month of coming every day, you will learn something, and then you will even find your space. I remember that we did some film with some girl. She came and wanted to be an actor, but now she's doing continuity. Because she told me that, Auntie, I really like this job. You're calling me for it, And I've seen people who have started off being. In fact, I used to have a PA who has now become a set and props person on set. She's no longer my PA. Said, Auntie, I like sets and props. So I always like that when they come on a project as interns, it should be a long period, like a month, so that within that time you'd have experienced all departments. Then you know where you want to be. But if you come on and shooting for 5 days, I'll be 1 week, you're not gonna learn much.
I don't think these people mind though. You see my DM since I said I was bringing you. Please let me ask her that. Please let me say that. I said me, I could select one of
Mm-hmm.
you. Okay. So
Mm.
I guess as an exit, as a departing message, what do you have to say to filmmakers, young filmmakers like myself, like many people that are
Mm.
watching right now? What's your departing message for us?
I think that is always find your voice as a filmmaker. There are so many voices. There are so many people there are so many people telling different stories, and you admire them, but you are not them. And you feel as if because you can't be them, you are beating yourself up that when will I be them? Find your voice. Once you find your voice, the kind of voice you want to speak as a filmmaker or the kind of way you want to be a filmmaker, that light will definitely shine. They will know you for who you are. Um, you know, some people say me that, oh, the queen of she knows how to use a small budget film and do it well. If it's a good thing, fine. you know. But for me, it's always writing that impactful story. That's my voice. writing that impactful story is my voice. So as a filmmaker, find your voice. What do you want to be known for? You know, when you find your voice, it's easy to shine in that space. Very easy. But when you're trying to be like every other person, and then one other thing I said to that, when you now find your voice and the fan is blowing on you, you know, standing fan used to rotate. Standing, you don't know, okay, and the standing fan, Abeni?
I need standing
Okay.
fan.
Okay. So standing fan, no man rotates. When the breeze is blowing on you, make good use of that breeze because
Hmm.
do you understand? I don't know how to explain it, but the very powerful message I've come to understand that make the best of when that fan is blowing on you. Make the best so that you be ready for it when that fan is going to be ready. Make sure you have more than enough to offer so that even when the fan turns away from you, you are still shining.
Amen. Wow. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That is make hay while the sun shines, people.
Yes. Mm.
Yeah, thank
And
you
be
so
ready
much,
for
Ma.
it. I
Thank
want to be a
you.
star. I want to be a star. Be ready for it when that stardom comes. Be ready
But it's
to
not
have a lot of
easy.
things to do because cooking it don't really take. Everything is now maintaining the stardom. And that's the hardest part. Maintaining stardom is very hard.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being who you are. Thank you for being creative. Thank you for being beautiful, for being humble, for being our auntie on screen that we can relate with. So many stories that you've told that have touched our lives and it's still touching us. And we appreciate you for it. We'll always appreciate
Thank
you for
you.
it. You know, because so
I
many things
appreciate
that
you guys too.
yeah, so many stories that you say that many people don't have the voice to come out and say that has happened to
Mm-hmm.
them. You shine light on them and they are beautifully said, beautifully written. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Beauty and the Beast was beautiful, by the way. I gave you a thumbs up on Iroko. It was really
Thank you.
good. Thank you so much. And I hope when we call you again, you'll come because we have a lot to talk
Ah,
about. See.
I'm available for you. Once I'm not filming, I'm available.
Thank you,
You
man.
know.
Thank you so much. Thank
So I'm
you.
so
And I
glad that we chose today because I knew my calendar. I knew I was going to be available. So at least I'll have time. I'm not
thank you,
rushing to
man.
set.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so
Auntie
much for
B.
having me. And thank you for
And
supporting the
honestly,
work.
yes, yes, yes. And honestly, please come to Houston, Texas. I'm actually serious. I'm going to be sending you scripts now that I have your email. I'll be sending you scripts. I'll be sending you scripts. I'm like, please let me squeeze life out of this script.
No
But I
problem.
will.
No
So
problem.
thank you so
No
much. God
problem.
bless you.
No
Keep
wow.
doing what you're
Thank you
doing.
so
We
much for
love
having
you.
me.
Yeah.
I love
Bye
you too.
bye.
Please help me to keep those triplets. Because they are triplets. Ah. There's nothing like Ibeji and Ibe Taniwon. Ah.
Everybody calls them triplets, and the three of them now look alike. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
what are you guys
Well,
doing? It feel like shit.
that's a lot of work, Sha. Kudos, kudos,
It's a
kudos.
lot of work. It's a lot. And my mom is in
Kudos.
Canada, so she doesn't even have time to come here. And
Oh
we recently
wow.
had the baby in August last year.
Oh.
It's a lot of work. It's a
But
lot
you
of
look
work.
very good for a new mommy.
You
You look very
serious?
good.
This is
Yes,
not how I
no.
looked before. When I was in my mother's house, I used to look good. They brought me here now. I don't know what's going on. I
Don't
don't
worry,
know.
don't worry. After small time, you will go back to being hot. You will remind that man why he married you.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You know?
sir.
Yes, so
Thank you,
it
man.
is
Thank you.
well.
I
Thank you
really do
so much for having me
appreciate
on your
it.
job.
Thank you
I'm
so
so
much.
grateful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye
All
bye
right. Have
now.
a good evening. Love to the kids.
Yeah, you
And to
too. Bye
Oga.
bye.
All right.
Our
Bye
guys
bye.
is here. Bye bye, man.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Yes, so we had Auntie Biodun. Oh my goodness, that was beautiful. I love her mind. I don't know how many how many people learned one or two things. I think I learned a lot. I'm gonna watch this film again. I'm gonna watch this live again. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you, Annie. Thank you, Diva. And see you, Ayo. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Ifunaya, and see you. I see you guys. Thank you so much. Jen, everyone that joined in, I really do appreciate you. You guys are amazing. Please share. share this live session. Please make sure you share it with your friends, your family, share with people. Let them learn one or two things about filmmaking, about what we're doing in the industry. Actually, thank you so much, guys. Thank you. I really do appreciate you. See you next time. I made this film, this short film called Makeup. I'm going to be posting live on it recently, for people to, to watch and to share among themselves as well. So, yeah, thank you so much, guys. See you. Bye.